Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Apple Box Chronicles. My name is Peyton Buto.
And I'm Adryon Thomas.
And today on the ABCs, we are taking you from A to Z once again on the films of Cameron Crowe and Richard Linklater. This is our final episode on this segment as part of our dual director segment, where we are going and breaking down a film from Cameron Crowe and Richard Linklater, 2 films per episode on each of them. This is the third one we've done. Check out the other 2 if you haven't. Check out our other one on Rian Johnson and Shane Black, where we did a bunch of those movies. If you don't know what this segment's about, it's basically exactly what I just said. We're comparing and contrasting the films of 2 directors who we find kind of work in a similar space. Maybe they capture a similar vibe, tone, theme, or genre, and we're just kind of putting them together. It's an exercise in reaching, like I like to say, where we basically just reach for any connections between these 2 movies. This is an excuse to talk about them and to talk about them and appreciate them in context of one another, because it's not a competition between the 2 directors. It's not us trying to say who's better and who's not. It's just us trying to show, like, you know, just spark some interesting thoughts that we would have otherwise not had on these movies. What are we talking about today?
Well, today we're going to pair Jerry Maguire with Where'd You Go, Bernadette, and Hitman and Vanilla Sky. Cameron Crowe did Jerry Maguire and Vanilla Sky, and Richard Linklater did Where'd You Go, Bernadette, and Hitman. So we're going to go through those 4. Right now we'll talk about Where'd You Go, Bernadette and Jerry Maguire. What did you think of those movies?
Yeah, so this episode, I had only seen Hitman before we started planning it, and then I had to watch the other 3. I love both of these movies. I know that it might be sacrilegious, but I actually think I liked Where'd You Go, Bernadette a little more.
Okay.
But yeah, I loved both of these movies. Where'd You Go, Bernadette is really, I think it's actually kind of a major film for a certain kind of person. Like, if you are a creative or an artist that is, I guess, in a slump, and you watch that movie, I feel like it could really touch you and move you. I think the hate is so forced.
Yeah.
Like, I remember it coming out and people did not like it, and I didn't really understand why. I just understood that it wasn't liked. And watching it now, I found it very moving. I found it, like, really, I mean, it's kind of sad, but it's kind of sweet. It's like, Kate Blanchett is, like, amazing in the movie. Like, she really embodies the character. I thought it was really cool the way they explored her through, like, her legacy, documentaries, and, like, interviews and stuff, and just the way that it was, I don't know, the way that the drama unfolded and the movie kind of revealed itself and what it was actually about over time was very fitting for, I think, the character that it was studying as well. So I thought it was remarkable, really. Yeah. I loved it. And Jerry Maguire was also really good, but it was one of those where I knew it was going to be really good. It wasn't as surprising. I can see why a lot of people quote it. I can see why a lot of people, you know, have hung on to it. And I mean, Tom Cruise is one of those actors where he's just so entertaining that watching him, it's never hard. Yeah. He's so great in this movie. He's so funny. The movie is really funny overall, and like you said, it's kind of a romantic epic. Like, it's huge.
Yeah, it's a long movie, but it's not that long. But it's longer than most romantic comedies, and it takes on this grandness to it. There's like, because he's a sports agent, he has to go all over the place. He has to meet these big athletes and these big characters in his life, and yet he's also in kind of starting this relationship with the one girl that seems to really appreciate what he's going for, and that kind of intertwines with everything. And you really just don't see movies of this proportion under the genre of rom-com anymore. And it's not just rom-com. There's like sports drama in it. There's, you know, his relationship with the little kid in there. There's just a lot of stuff going on in this movie, and
it is in a way still kind of a character study.
Yeah, and it's at the forefront. It's a character study on Jerry Maguire, and for
he used his legal name.
And the same goes with Where'd You Go, Bernadette, where it's at the forefront. It's this character study about, this woman who used to be this great architect, who's kind of in a slump after starting a family, and she doesn't really know how to get out of it. And they're both kind of these characters that have a breakdown. They really just kind of lose it. They have almost like a midlife crisis, both of them.
Yeah.
And how they kind of get out of that is what makes them different, but also what makes them, relatable and unique.
Yeah, it really is crash outs in these movies.
The two crash out
to
movies.
use modern kind of verbiage for it. Also, started watching Where'd You Go, Bernadette on this app called Fossum because it was free. And halfway through, I ended up renting that shit on an Apple because we could not get through it on Fossum. I did the math, bro. They had like 8 ads, and it was an ad break every 10 minutes. On the dot. I'm talking mid-sentence, a character would talk. On the dot, 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, there's an ad. I'm not trying to dog on them too much because, it's free. But I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
you can't watch a movie that way.
If you did the math, it's almost like watching 2 movies.
Literally, it almost added an entire movie to the movie in ads, and I wasn't about to do that, so we switched it over. But just wanted to note, I almost crashed out. But very good movie.
The reason why I paired these 2 movies is because of their crash outs. It's like these 2 characters that are kind of they're just going through it mostly through the first half or more of the movie, and then they really have to try to like figure out like what their end goal is going to be and how they get there. With Where'd You Go, Bernadette, it's more about finding herself again and like trying to do something creative in what she's used to rather than latching on to her family and kind of isolating herself from the world in a place that she doesn't even like. Whereas Jerry Maguire is kind of different. He has, at the beginning of the movie, he writes a mission statement about how, as a sports agent, he should be more personally attached to their athlete, and they should have more intimate relations with them. And it's not just about the money and the fame. It's about getting them to play the game that they love playing. And by saying that, it kind of crumbles down on him because we live in such a capitalistic society and all consumerisms and all the ads you got to be a part of. And he loses that battle because everybody just wants to make money. But I think the movie's still saying that it works. You just need to hold out. You need to actually be true to what you're trying to do. You can't just say, oh, you want to be more about the players and less about the money, and still be about the money.
You don't just say your philosophy. You have to embody it. You have to live it. Yeah, exactly.
And what was interesting about Jerry Maguire is that he's trying to live that philosophy in his career, but he also needs to do that within his personal life as well. And it's kind of like this double-edged sword in that way, where he really wants to push that forward with his relationship with his with Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character, but he also needs to allow himself to be open for the Renee Zellweger character as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's just kind of a cool flip of the coin theme in that movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that I think Where'd You Go, Bernadette differs in the way that it's not really about someone trying to make a change in their life. I guess it is, but it's more about like what happened to me. Like where'd you go? Like what is I guess the problem in Jerry Maguire is more it's like he knows what he needs to do for a lot of it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Where'd You Go, Bernadette, it's almost like a mystery, like that everyone's trying to solve. Like, what is she going through? Why is she behaving in this way? And she's just trying to get back to a former version of herself that she had lost touch with. I think both of these movies, as you pointed out, have to do with like them putting a lot more emphasis on the main character's relationship with like a younger character. Like in Bernadette's case, her daughter is like what she pours everything into. And that's kind of, I think, like, in a way it's about parenthood and how, like, when you have a kid, you want to just, that is, like, everything to you now.
Yeah.
But then you can kind of forget, like, who you actually were.
Yeah, there's the whole thing about the Saint Bernadette locket and how Saint Bernadette had 18 visions, and 2 of them for the main character were her two buildings that she created, and then the 16 other visions were her daughter. But through the movie, you kind of learned that she has more than that. It's not limited to that, and obviously her daughter is a big part of.
Yeah, like, it's almost like she wanted to limit herself.
But she has more visions in her. She can still put out more greatness out there.
Yeah, like your individuality doesn't end when you have a child. So yeah, it's a great story about that. Jerry Maguire is more like a romance story, and I guess you could say that's the most surprising thing about it, because it really is just about him trying to kind of like get back on his feet in the sports management thing, and like I guess try and get to a point where he can do what he actually says he wants to do. But then even when he achieves success at the end, he's like, oh, I actually love this girl. I want to share it with someone else.
Yeah.
And I think he was kind of always looking for that kind of connection. It just never took the right form.
Yeah, I think the movie's trying to say something about how people show their affection towards each other, because you constantly see Cuba Gooding Jr. and his wife, played by Regina King, they're just constantly very lovey-dovey with each other, where Tom Cruise and Renee Zellweger isn't as much. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't like care about her as much or love her any less. It's just, even in the movie, they're like, that's not who I am. I can't be that kind of person. But I think it's the understanding that there is love there. It's just shown differently, and the way that Jerry kind of has to do it is, by admitting and confronting and saying, you complete me. Like it's all great and all, but if you're not there, then there's no happiness here. So without you, I'm only half of what I would like to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think he realizes that when Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character almost he gets knocked unconscious during a football game, and his wife calls Jerry and is like, I need him. That's my family. It doesn't work without him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that sort of, I think, kind of puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
For Jerry as well.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of why this is why I consider it kind of like this romantic epic, because it's like it all builds up to that moment where Jerry's like, I was incomplete my entire life up to this point, and that was the problem, and we kind of had to build up that big old mountain just to get there.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you have to get everything else before you realize what the actual thing you need is.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Where'd You Go, Bernadette is almost similar in the
she
sense that
she kind of has everything.
She has everything, but she lost something that was super important.
She lost the motivation to do the thing she actually wanted to do because of all these other peripheral things, like her neighbor, just kind of being annoying, and the fact that she doesn't like living in Seattle. She just has a thing against Seattle, and she's homebound. She would rather do these little kind of side projects than actually commit to something big and grand, which he's more attuned to and she's better at doing.
Yeah.
And I just find that also very interesting. Yeah, I also relate to Bernadette a lot more in that sense, where it's like there's this thing that you really want to do. It's really great and grand, and you have all these ideas to make it happen. You just kind of lack the motivation to do it due to like outlier situations, and that feeling of like you've been put down so much over other things that you're not ready to take on that big thing again.
Right. Yeah, sometimes you got to go really far away to
Yeah.
find that the motivation to do something.
Yeah, that's also the why I like Where'd You Go, Bernadette, because it's kind of like this journey of like she has to kind of force herself to leave the house, to leave Seattle and all her family behind, just to kind of find herself again by going to Australia. Not Australia. Wow.
Antarctica.
Antarctica of all places.
Yeah, very similar.
Close. They both start with A's.
And in a way, the Where'd You Go, Bernadette? It almost feels like a Cameron Crowe movie.
Yeah.
Billy Crudup is in it. It takes place in Seattle. And it is kind of this movie that Cameron Crowe likes to make a lot, where it's like there's this problem that's just getting in the way, and it's kind of a simple solution, but everything is so big and there's so many things going on that the solution is it does not reveal itself that way.
The problem is almost a bit too personal for the characters. We were kind of talking about how Cameron Crowe, why this feels like a Cameron Crowe movie, because like in like Say Anything, the solution is pretty easy. Just like be with your boyfriend. He likes you, obviously, but the girl didn't want to because of how her father felt about the guy, even though her father is kind of the obstacle in her life. And if she could get over the barrier of her father kind of like taking over her life in a sense, she would be happy. The same thing with Where'd You Go, Bernadette? It's this psychological boundary in her where she just can't let go of her family for the for whatever great architect or building she wants to make, and she could do it, but she just has like this psychological boundary to her that she can't like kind of break through. And I feel like that's a big case with a lot of Cameron Crowe movies, is that there's something holding them back from doing something that they really want to do, and it's pretty personal for that character.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. That's what I've seen a lot, watching just a lot of his movies just for this. But Jerry Maguire, on the other hand, it kind of has the same thing that you're talking about. But like we said, it's a lot more big. It's a lot more epic, and it's a lot longer than a lot of his movies, too. I think Tom Cruise just makes his movies longer because Vanilla Sky's pretty long, too.
I think that's just a Cameron Crowe. I think Cameron Crowe just has a lot of ideas for characters and like situations and things that he wants their characters to say and do, and he kind of just puts them all into his movies. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I think it works a lot of the time in.
Well, obviously,
Jerry
I'm
Maguire.
joking. I know it's not actually Tom Cruise.
Well,
doing
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But
but it is funny that the two Tom Cruise movies that Cameron Crowe directs are both like 2 hours and like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and one of them's just a rom-com. It's like, dude. But no, it's great to see a rom-com that's of that scale. And also, all the performances are so good that the movie just kind of flies by, and it's shot by Janusz Kaminski.
Yeah, Spielberg's DP.
Yeah, which is, you can see it. You can see it in some of the lighting. You can see it in some of the visuals. Like, everything is very dynamic and just really consistently looks great.
Yeah, like that's the thing with rom-coms today. They just don't look like they used to. There's this flatness to them, this Netflix look to them, where it's like you could tell that it's like shot all on digital, and it's very like they're like on a stage or there's like green screen behind them or something.
I mean, we're talking about romance here. That's some of the most striking, passionate emotions there is, and
it should be more stylistic.
Yeah, it should. It should.
Like, there's a whole scene outside of the front door of Renee Zellweger where they're just kissing up on each other, and they're just outside.
Yeah, but it feels like they're in like a different world.
Yeah, like the light is coming in, and it's so like sensual.
Yeah, they let the movie kind of like operate on the emotions and the expressions, and movies don't do that enough.
Nowadays, people would be like, they're standing outside the door. What are they doing? That's so unrealistic.
And nobody walked out there to see them? Okay, sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they can't enter the characters' minds in movies as easily, I feel. And I think that's why Where'd You Go, Bernadette didn't connect. Because the movie does operate in that way of, like, it is a little bit messier, but I think that's a feature. It's, like, supposed to be kind of haphazard because the character is going through such a messy time in her life.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's how a movie is supposed to be, is it's supposed to feel a certain way, even if that is not necessarily a comfortable emotion. It's supposed to evoke that in you so that you feel what the characters feel. It's like an empathy machine. You need to like let yourself into it. Please watch Highest to Lowest. It's not the same thing, but I do think timing has to do with a lot with these movies, doing one being such a classic and the other one being kind of panned.
Yeah.
I think it does have to do with timing. I think Linklater, I think even if Dazed and Confused came out today, it would not be as popular as it became.
Maybe. I don't know. With this movie, and especially with like Jerry Maguire, I feel like if Jerry Maguire came out today, it would
be divisive.
Yeah, very divisive. I think a lot of people would be like, "Oh, it's too long, it's too small, it's too syrupy and sweet, and the acting is over exaggerated and all that crap." And people have just lost that sense of like cinematic kind of value of like this is not supposed to represent an entire reality. This is not supposed to be a documentary. It's not supposed to stay in like such a bounded reality. It could like let loose. We could have moments of levity and moments of great like despair, and like we could go all over the place with the emotions of the characters and kind of let it loose a bit. You know, not be so restricted to, this and that. And no, it's not perfect here. It's not perfect there. It's not supposed to be perfect anywhere. And I feel like Jerry Maguire it just came out in a perfect time where people weren't as critical on movies, because I feel like, again, with social media today, your voice feels bigger than it actually is. And people's opinions seem to matter more amongst themselves than they ever used to.
Yeah. And
I feel like if Where'd You Go, Bernadette came out in the 90s and was kind of maybe more 90s-ified, I think it would have done pretty well. People would have probably liked it a lot more.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just kind of this unfortunate trajectory of how audiences take in film, and it's kind of unfair to the films nowadays.
I agree.
But
we've been talking about that a lot lately.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just going to be consistently something that comes up every time a movie, like every time we talk about a movie, we're just like, damn, this is really good. People don't like really good stuff. Like, I don't know. No, people like good movies nowadays, but it's I don't want to seem pessimistic about it. I just think there is like a degree of like just such an overwhelming amount of noise.
Yeah.
That it's hard to like really just let something
be.
Let something take you. Let something be, like, open yourself up to something, and don't worry about watching the movie just to like mine for like, I don't know, opinions and discourse and all that stuff. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, we were also talking about how we feel like these two directors, I don't know their relationship to one another, but they would probably like each other's movies.
Yeah, and I think specifically these two as well.
I feel like, Cameron Crowe would love Where'd You Go, Bernadette?
Yeah, I think...
If he doesn't, I'm sorry, I guess. I didn't mean to put anything in your mouth. But I feel like you'd like Where'd You Go, Bernadette?
Like, no, that's anti-Seattle. Fuck you.
But
main character that hates Seattle? I can't relate to this shit.
Yeah, I just feel like they would both appreciate each other's films because they're very similar in certain ways. Yeah,
almost certainly. Speaking of which, we were talking about movies just don't look that good anymore. Like rom-coms don't look that good anymore. They all have this Netflix look. Well, next is a Netflix romance comedy that we're going to talk about called Hitman that actually does look good.
Yeah,
and Vanilla Sky as well. These two movies, I like both of these.
Yeah, they're very different for each of the directors' kind of usual genre or usual take on movies because Cameron Crowe usually doesn't go into the realm of sci-fi, psychological suspense,
I feel like almost, and you said this, like it almost would make more sense for Linklater to do that.
It would.
Due to his like rotoscope films that he's made. In fact, this could have been one of those.
Yeah, we were talking about like this would have been maybe even better if Richard Linklater took it and did like his rotoscoping thing for it, because I feel like it just would have like paced better and it would have vibed better. Maybe, like, I don't know how to explain it. It just, I think you would go in expecting the feeling of the movie instead of how the movie actually feels. Like if you went in blind, right?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really expect.
Dude, it was crazy.
Yeah,
I like went in and I was like, Radiohead. What's going on right now?
Yeah, it's like for someone who hasn't seen Vanilla Sky to go in and watch Vanilla Sky, I'm sure it's a roller coaster of like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, I had no idea what it was about. I thought it was just going to be like a regular romance movie. I was like, oh, we're comparing it to Hitman? It's got to be. And then I watched it. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy.
But I feel like, if Richard Linklater took it... Now, I'm not saying that the movie's bad or that Cameron Crowe did a bad job at directing the film, but I feel like if Richard Linklater did his rotoscoping with the film, I think audiences going in would immediately be like, oh, this is different, so I shouldn't expect the expected.
There is something about medium like that does that to people. Yeah. People are more willing to suspend their disbelief and go along for the ride, I think, I think that's why there's an immediate...
It works with like A Scanner Darkly and Waking Life, because those are very out there kind of sci-fi dreamlike movies. Yeah, but I feel like that would have made more sense for Vanilla Sky's kind of vibe, whereas in Hitman, I guess Cameron Crowe would have done a pretty good Hitman too.
Yeah, but these are the movies as they are, and I think that I don't think there's any, I guess, reason to say, like, yeah, sure, they would have done good, but I just don't, I wouldn't want to say,
we don't need to compare them.
The value of this is different.
Yeah.
Now. Like, these movies made by these filmmakers they're gonna be, I guess...
They got their own different, like, taste and vibes.
I mean, there's not really a better or a worse to it.
It's more of a what if.
Yeah, it's more of a fun thought, a hypothetical. But the thing is, both of these movies... They're just about guys, they're trying to find out what masks they're wearing, who their real self is. There's really a lot of exploring of the self, what is real, what isn't, and it's all with the goal of being with a Latina.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just two guys trying to find themselves to get with a baddie Latina lady. Like, what? Like,
they're just like me.
Aren't they all? Aren't we all? it was comparing these two was a bit of a reach, but also not really, because it is really about two guys really trying to find themselves and trying to see like the perspectives other than themselves as well, while trying to get into a relationship with a woman who also happens to be Latina.
There is a bit of a Cameron Crowe-ism to Hitman, where it's like, oh, these two people are perfect for each other, but there's this one thing.
Yeah.
There's this one thing that's in the way, you know?
Hitman's also, I guess, to me, I found it kind of similar to School of Rock, where you have this person who's kind of faking another person to get what he wants, and instead of starting a rock band, it's to get with this girl.
Who the fuck is Gary?
I weirdly enough, I quote that. Like,
yeah, we be saying that sometimes.
But yeah, I these are two very different movies for these directors, I feel like. Just like overall. Yeah, Cameron, this is like every other Cameron Crowe movie is different than this one. He's never like even come close to doing a movie like this again. I think it's partly because of the reception it got.
It's one of a kind, though.
It was very polarizing when it came out.
Yeah, but isn't it so great that we have one, though? We have one of these.
We actually have two of these, because this is a remake.
Oh, I meant by Cameron Crowe, but yes.
Oh, yes. This is also a remake, and Hitman is also based on a real person, too. So
yeah, they both have a bit of a source material to them.
But, I think Vanilla Sky got polarizing, kind of a little panned when it came out, because it was, the original was, I believe, Mexican by
Alejandro Amenabar.
Yeah,
and
called Open Your Eyes.
Yeah, Open Your Eyes, and it's the director of The Others.
Yeah, it's considered much better. I haven't seen it.
But I would like to watch it. It also has Penelope Cruz as the same character.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Vanilla Sky, man, like, it was just such a trip. But I will say, by the end of the movie, I was kind of just like, okay, wrap it up. Like, because there is this huge, I guess, there's just a lot of exposition at the very end that kind of just deflated the experience a little bit for me. I was like, dude.
Well, I don't know. I didn't feel like that at all, because throughout this long movie, it's not, I keep saying long, it's not like that long.
It's 2 hours and 16 minutes, I think.
Yeah, it's for like an hour and 40 minutes of the movie or more. You're just like, what is happening? And then they finally give you okay, so this is what's going on. And I don't know, I just didn't mind it.
Yeah, I get that, but like I felt personally like once you got that scene with Tilda Swinton at the end, I felt I understood what was going on kind of already. Yeah. And I felt like it would have been more fun to just go back and rewatch the movie and pick up on all that stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
Personally. But it's fun. I do like the way that the movie ends, where he jumps off the building and then like it starts and ends with Matrix. It starts and ends with basically the same the line "Open Your Eyes," which is like the title of the original movie. So I think that's kind of cool. I don't know. I like it as a Tom Cruise vehicle. I just like that him just crashing out, going crazy for a lot of the movie. I love the scene where he realizes something and he starts banging on the window. He's like, "Wait, come back!" That's such a good scene.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's in it. I forgot that he was in this movie. He's really great. Spielberg makes a cameo.
Steven Spielberg is in it. That's right. And it's kind of like I just like to imagine that Steven Spielberg is not Steven Spielberg in the movie.
Like, he's just another big director.
He's just a guy, and then when he wakes up after the movie, that guy is actually Steven Spielberg.
Well, he wakes up like in the future, right? Like 150
Oh, never mind. Yeah, you're right.
But
maybe I guess maybe he is supposed to be playing himself in the movie.
I think he is.
Okay.
It's uncredited.
Like, yeah, because they're at a rich guy's party, so it could just be Steven Spielberg.
I think it's just a cameo swap, because I think around the same time Minority Report was coming out, and Cameron Crowe cameos in that movie.
Oh, so they were just like, let's just do this thing. Because they were both like around the same time. Tom Cruise in both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. God,
So,
I love Minority Report.
Yeah, it's so good.
That would be a cool one to pair with this one.
This one,
like a double feature, I mean.
Yeah. And Vanilla Sky, like, when I first saw it, I wasn't a huge fan of it. But watching again, I kind of... And, you know, rewatching all of Cameron... Not all of, but most of Cameron Crowe's filmography for these segments, I did grow much more of an appreciation for Vanilla Sky. Because, yeah, when I first watched it, I was super, like... Not exactly confused, but I was kind of, like the movie, all over the place. I was like, wait a second, what's happening? What's going on right now? And even after the big explanation, I don't think I really gave into it. I was like, nah, I don't know. I just didn't vibe with it the first time around, but this time around I did.
I wish I had seen this when I was younger, because I think I would have gone crazy over it. I would have been like, bro, that shit's so crazy. Like, there's this huge twist in the movie. It's crazy.
I feel like when I first met you, and if you saw it then, I think you would have a different...
I don't know about that. I think I'm actually more partial to it now than when we met.
Really?
I am talking about when I was like a teenager. I would have been into this.
Because that was the time... I saw that when I was a teenager, and that's when I was like, yeah...
No, I think I would have liked it as a teenager.
I was more pretentious.
Same shit as like that Nicolas Cage movie called Knowing. Oh man, that was my shit when I saw that.
I remember Knowing.
When I was younger, I was like, bro, it's all the tragedies. It's the apocalypse. Like, I just thought it was all so interesting.
Yeah.
I was a sucker for movies that just had like mysteries, and then you would just, you know, you would get like the big reveal at the end. And like, I mean, that's probably where my love of M. Night Shyamalan comes from. I just love movies that have like a big reveal at the end.
Yeah.
For a lot of them, but yeah, so good. I really do like Vanilla Sky a lot. It just towards the end, it did get a little bit.
Maybe it on a rewatch.
I would like it more on a rewatch, probably just because we double featured Jerry Maguire and that. They're both pretty long, and we kind of like, it was like almost 2 in the morning.
You were. I could feel like you were getting tired.
But I mean, I wasn't like, you know, disinterested. I was just like, dude, there's like, I get it. But you know, that's what I think. I think mood has so much to do with how you watch a movie. If you're like, if you're in a shitty mood, if you're in a shitty mood, you have a headache, you have a stomach ache, you just went through something, and the movie is counterintuitive to like what you're feeling, and you feel called out by it, that could piss you off.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's happened before many times.
Yeah, you're like going through something, and then you watch a movie, and you're like, am I this shitty character in this movie? Yeah,
there were times where I was like maybe procrastinating on something, and then I watched a movie, and it's like, yeah, the lesson of this movie is you can't procrastinate. And I'm like, dang it.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit, I should probably do that thing I need to do. But yeah, we talked a lot about Vanilla Sky. Hitman's great.
Hitman's incredible, really. I think it's one of the better films of last year.
When I saw it last year, like, it immediately was like my favorite movie when I saw it of that year at the time. And I still like it a lot. I need to revisit it because I didn't revisit it for this segment.
Yeah, I've seen it twice. You've seen it once, I think.
Yeah,
just once.
But I loved it. Like, it was. I've seen it like 1.5 times. I've seen like half of it. On another occasion, but just like the chemistry between Glenn Powell and
Adria Arjona,
so good,
and who else is in it? I forget the name of the actors, but the supporting cast, like, that work at the police station or whatever with him, so funny. Like, all of them are so funny.
That's the thing about Linklater movies, is that just about all of his movies feel great. Like, they're just fun to watch. You're not really having a bad time most of the times watching his movies, and that's why movies like Before Midnight scare me, because it feels like it's not going to be a fun time watching that, and so I'm scared. I'm like, I don't want to feel bad watching these two guys argue. But in most cases, Linklater is a very, very fun filmmaker, and he just makes the movie just entertaining to watch, no matter what's going on. And
I
I
agree.
think it's super fun because Glenn Powell gets to put on different makeup and like be different characters.
Yeah, dude, he
And
does some great like impressions in
it's
this
fun.
shit. Like it just the character of Gary is so interesting.
Yeah.
He's just like has this gift for make believe almost that is so good. And I think in a weird way the two characters are perfect for each other. Not I mean there is a deception involved.
Yeah.
But I think the two characters become perfect for each other in the way that they are both very aroused by make believe and by deceit and by getting away with something like that. Like I think that's kind of what draws her to him is not the fact that he's this hitman. I mean, maybe at first, but eventually they start doing some role play shit.
Yeah, it's the role playing
and some kinky stuff, and then that becomes like kind of their relationship. And then when she learns that he's a fake hitman,
he's Gary.
But yeah, she kind of is like upset. But then they have that great notes app scene.
Yeah,
and it's
so good. Like I just love all the scenes in the movie. It's just
like you could tell when they are doing the notes app scene and she knows they're getting away with what they're doing. Like after he leaves, she's like turned on. She's like, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's like they were having sex doing
that. No, it's so good. I loved Hitman. It's unfortunate. It's a Netflix movie because they're not gonna. It's not on Blu-ray or 4K.
I think this is the thing with streaming movies. Sometimes
and they didn't
filmmakers
market it enough.
Yeah, filmmakers get opportunities to make movies because of streaming services. Like even Spike Lee said Highest to Lowest wouldn't have been made without Apple.
Yeah.
And maybe Netflix had a huge part in getting Hitman made. But the thing is, it's just such a shame that you get such limited theatrical runs for these great movies sometimes. And then they're just on the streaming service, and you can't get the Blu-ray.
Yeah, there's no physical media with it either.
And it feels like they're at risk of becoming lost media.
Yeah, because like, what happens if something happens to Netflix and they just lose a bunch of movies?
I mean, I'm sure people have pirated it, but then you're gonna get like one that's not legal.
Yeah.
And two, you're gonna have. Like, what if just the internet shuts down? If there's no digital,
Yeah, that's why I don't store my movies really digitally anymore, because what if I lose that stuff? What if something goes down? What if there's so many variables where if I just wanted to watch a movie on physical,
we got a few.
It's right here. I got it. I'm holding it right now. I could put it in and nothing's gonna go wrong unless I mess up the disc or something.
Well, yeah, it gives it more of a living quality. It's like you have to take care of this movie to have it. It really, I think it inherently brings more respect to the act of watching a movie, because you have it stored somewhere. You're taking care of something essentially. There isn't it can rot if you don't take care of it, if you don't keep it in the temperature controlled environment in the right way. Yeah. Discs can rot too, not just get scratched. And so it's something you are essentially becoming a preserver of film when you collect physical media. And then, just there's nothing like that. You put that disc in that player, you got the bonus features.
The quality's better, too.
The quality is way better because there's no fluctuating bit rates to get around buffering.
Yeah.
It's all stored on the disc. The data's there. And you have... A lot of the time, I mean, not so much anymore, it's kind of a lost art, but sometimes you would have these great menus.
Oh, man.
So fun. It would get me amped to watch the movie.
Amazing menus. Oh, like whoever was, I know who's doing, David Pryor, who did David Fincher's, DVDs and Blu-rays. He would make amazing stuff for that. Like for the Fight Club Blu-ray, when you put that in, and it's the Never Been Kissed menu, and then it
dude, that tripped me so much, because the first time I saw Fight Club was on a DVD, and I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy, because I had no idea what the movie was going to be about.
Yeah. They used to be creative with their menus on DVDs and Blu-rays. Now they lost the sauce. They lost it.
I mean, it kind of is indicative of the fact that I think they're just not really as interested in even putting them out at all.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because people aren't renting videos anymore. I think it was because of the boom of video rentals that they were like, oh, we got to make this more interesting and unique. So when people like rent the DVD or something and it's got these cool features and whatnot, it could lead to the people buying them, or like it gives it more of a personality, and it kind of flashier way to promote your DVDs. But now they don't do that because we have streaming, which is just annoying and worse and just not as fun.
I think it also goes hand in hand with the fact that, like, back in the day, 90s, early 2000s, you know, when these Cameron Crowe movies were coming out, I feel like movies were more tailored to, like, who's got the best new idea, who's got the best new original idea. Putting together something different, you know, was kind of more important back then, instead of being like, what do we know is going to succeed right now?
Yeah, there was, you know? There was originality. It was,
and I felt like that led to more love and care being put into movies to make them feel unique, even on the physical media side of things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I went to a screening of Megalopolis last month at the Texas Theater with Francis Ford Coppola. And they passed out to every single person. They gave us, like, a little letter from Coppola about, like, when you watch this movie, like, don't be afraid to laugh. Like, all this stuff, like, just talking about what his goals with the movie and, like, why he made it and all that stuff. There's some typos in there, which is pretty fucking funny, honestly. But, not typos, just grammatical issues, run-on sentences and stuff. I don't know. It was kind of funny to... Yeah. To see that and be like, Francis, you got a little too excited. But no, like, I took that home and I want to, like, frame that shit, because I'm just like, that's, I don't know, in a perfect world, which would never happen, and, you know, the world is almost, there's too much going on and too much coming out for this to even be for this to ever happen. But, like, I think every movie should have that. Just like a little letter from the director being like, this is why I made this movie.
There's a
like,
lot
it really
of
lets you want to sit and indulge in their world a little more.
Yeah, there was a time when there were re-releases and, like, re-releases on DVDs and Blu-rays, where there would be a little, like, note inside the DVD.
Yeah, like your THX 1138.
Where directors will just send a little note.
Well, a lot of Criterions do that too.
Yeah, well, a lot of Criterions have a lot of appreciation, like, packets, and
they have essays, but sometimes they have stuff from the filmmakers. Yeah. Oh, another thing, like, I love when a DVD or Blu-ray does is an introduction from the director.
Oh, yeah.
When the director gets to be like, hey, you're watching, this is the cut of the film you're going to watch. Like, this is what's different about it. This is what's cool about it. Or this is why I made this movie.
But it has to be a good introduction. There's some pretty crappy ones where it's just the director being like, this is my cut of the movie. Hope you enjoy. And that's it. And no, it's like, no, I need an introduction where they, like, talk about, like, a few things. It needs to be, like, at least a minute and a half long.
I think we watched Munich on your DVD, and I think there was a great Spielberg introduction for that one.
Probably.
It was one of the Spielbergs, and I think it was Munich.
Yeah, I love a good introduction from the director. Or from one of the actors or writers or something. But, the physical media, come on.
This is crazy how we've turned this into
we've gotten so off topic.
Listen, man, we're talking about old movies, classic movies. We're comparing them to new movies. One of them's on Netflix. It's bound to come up.
Yeah.
It's bound to come up. Okay, so, buy physical media. That's the message. That's the whole reason we talked about these directors.
No, I think we did kind of hit everything we wanted to, though. There's, like, I love all these movies. They're all great.
Yeah, there's not a movie we talked about in this whole entire series that I didn't like.
Yeah.
So,
I kind of guess made it that way. We didn't really pick out any of the
we didn't pick
think we're good.
We didn't pick the ones with the hot takes.
Yeah. Have you seen Aloha?
No.
Okay. Well,
we got to catch Aloha.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll watch that and put that out. I don't know. Anyway,
the ABCs of Aloha.
What are other director pairs that we got to do? You guys got to tell us.
And, you know, what pairings here in this series did we miss? Which ones did we get right? Which ones are we, like, completely off? Like, no, dude, it was right there. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Let us know. And what's your favorite Crowe and what's your favorite Linklater movie? Mine is easy. It's Almost Famous and Boyhood.
I think I'll also say almost favorite. Oh, almost famous, and maybe Dazed and Confused. I don't know. It's hard to pick a Linklater one because he's got so many great ones. But I'll say Dazed and Confused. That's been the opener and it's been the ender. It's the one that I always go back to.
I think
Jerry Maguire is a close second on Crowe though.
I think Linklater, there's just a Mount Rushmore, and it's like Dazed and Confused, the Before trilogy, Boyhood, and
The Before trilogy,
yeah,
just one
and
head.
School of Rock.
Yeah,
Those
that's
are
a good one.
Those are my
That's a good one.
four favorite things. I guess if I had to pick one Before movie, my favorite is Before Midnight, actually. But yeah,
Mine would probably have to be Before Sunset, the second one.
I think a lot of people like that one.
I
just think
feel
it has
like a lot of
Ethan
people
Hawke's
love the
worst
first
haircut,
one.
and for me, it can't be my favorite because of that.
I don't look at his haircut. I don't care.
Then what the fuck are you doing? Why are you watching? Did we watch the same movie?
I guess not. I mean, I do love the first one too. The first one, soft spot in my heart. But the second one is like tighter, and it's kind of unique how they set up like their meetup after the fact. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can see it. It's definitely an unpopular take to like the third one the best, but that was just the one that really struck me the most.
That's the one I'm afraid of.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you haven't watched it.
I have this fear of Before Midnight.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
I'll watch it one of these days.
You got it. We're gonna do it. We'll double feature it with Aloha and make a bonus episode.
Yeah.
On those two movies.
Is there any pairings that you think we should do next?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, we talked about potentially doing Zemeckis and Ron Howard. We also talked about doing Bong Joon-ho and Alfonso Cuarón, which I think would be cool.
I would like to do those two.
Honestly, I want to do one with Hitchcock, but I don't know who would pair up with Hitchcock.
Especially for if you want to stick to like a director around the same period, that would be kind of hard.
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is M. Night because he just pulls from Hitchcock so often.
Yeah,
But I feel like he always just pulls from Hitchcock in small ways, and then the larger thing is more. Different.
Well, and there's also De Palma who directly pulls from Hitchcock.
Oh yeah, De Palma like copies that.
Maybe
we'll be talking
M.
about
Night
that.
and De Palma.
M. Night and De Palma, the Hitchcock. Yeah, that could be interesting though.
Maybe we'll have to talk about this.
We'll think about that. We'll take out the legal pad. All right, thank you guys for watching. Anything else you want to say?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Be sure to follow us on other platforms, of course. Subscribe to us wherever you're listening or watching this on. Links are in the description of wherever. Leave a comment, leave a like, rate us 5 stars, like the movie Hitman might be on my next watch.
Yeah. I've been Adryon.
And I've been Peyton.
And this is the Apple Box.
Oh my motherfucker. Why would you say it like that?
I forgot for a second. I was like, wait a second.
I've been Peyton.
And I've been Adryon.
And we'll see you next time on the Apple Box.